these 5 organizations, they're running over 100 major projects. Then you have a third level of military's involvement in the economy, which is what I call participation of individual members. I am quite sure that some of the retired generals would be brilliant tacticians, would be brilliant strategists. But what is most effective in terms of enhancement of their wealth and their business opportunities is the political influence of the organization. And it plays a critical role in enhancement of their business opportunities. And it's the sum total of these 3 levels, which is what makes the military economy. Now, part of this military economy is that it redistributes resources to its cronies as well. So it would be unfair to say that the military is the only one predating financially. They are its civilian cronies as well. You know, the great political leaders. You have, in fact, you know, instead of going down the list of people who are involved in it, it is, in fact, the entire Pakistani elite, which is involved in economic and predation, and is, in fact, part and parcel of this military economy and part and parcel of the military, of a predatory military. Now, take a step back and think of 1857. Think of the colonial days, and this is exactly what was happening. The British were not fighting alone in the Indian subcontinent. There would always be partners from within the society who would kind of dump their own and go and join the British. This is cronyism of the past. What I'm talking about in my book is cronyism of today. But there are similarities. The patterns are the same. The control mechanisms are the same. The British colonial military co-opted segments of the society or the people through hard and soft coercion in order to strengthen their own hold of politics, the state, and the society. And this is exactly what is happening today in Pakistan. Finally, one point about, in reference to the military economy. While doing my book and while looking at the military economy, naturally you read history, you try to draw lessons from that. But the one question which came into my, of course, which would come into anybody's mind, is that why is it not happening in India, and why it's happening in Pakistan? The Indian military operates quite differently from the Pakistani military. It has what I call a civil military. It's part of a civil-military partnership. It gets a share of resources, but the transfer of resources, the distribution of resources is much more controlled in India as far as the military is concerned. However, we completely lost control. And that the answers lie in 1947. 1947, 2 things happened. 1947, a war was started in which the military came center stage. And secondly, the military came center stage without the politicians, without the political leadership of 1947, creating any mechanisms to create a balanced patron-client relationship in which the military would be the client and the civilian leadership the patron. And since there was no mechanism to control them or to create a patron-client, a favorable patron-client relationship, what happened within 11 years of the country coming into being is that the whole structure flipped the other way. The military became the patron and the civilians became the clients. And this is the situation we've had now since 1958. The military comes and goes, but its influence is paramount. And at this point in time, what we need to think about, the civil society in Pakistan and outside, people who are observers of Pakistan who think about it, is how do you reverse that equation? What can the civilians do to reverse that equation? And believe me, I'm responsible for that as well. The civil society is equally to be blamed for not managing to push back the military and not managing